moving on to that side of things, as I mentioned, we are going to start with our respective teams. And I would like to congratulate Raider Jim on almost securing, almost getting there. I don't think it's clinched fully yet, but in the pole position for the number one overall pick. A performance for the ages. And I know there are a lot of Raider fans that might be saying that was a terrible performance. I thought it was masterful. Look, if you're tanking, go full tank. Send your star defensive end home. Tell everyone he's hurt, and then he posts stuff on Instagram, jumping on trampoline, saying hello. Hey, all's fair in love and war and Raider football. But I only kid for the most part. But this is the final time we will be talking Raider football this year. It is going to be the Kansas City Chiefs heading to Vegas to face the Raiders as 5.5-point favorites. The over-under here is 36.5, minus 270 on the money line for Kansas City, plus 220 for the Raiders. Raider Jim, your thoughts? Raiders' final game of the season, taking on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I understand the whole philosophy to let's get the first pick next year. It doesn't really matter based on the way they're managed and coached. You got to, unless you're going to be able to draft a coach, guess what? You're going to probably be still rebuilding for the next 3 years at best. And everybody's talking about, well, but you guys can get Mendoza. And it's no. I like what you said last week. Call Harbaugh and say, we'll take the 28-year-old Lamar Jackson. Mm-hmm. I would just as soon see him. Guy that's got thousands of yards passing, thousands of yards rushing, guy that has a head for NFL football. Don't bring in somebody that is really basically going to be sitting with the clipboard for a year, possibly, or you're just going to send him out there and feed him to the Lions his first year in the NFL. It's just, I don't know. I don't really completely buy into the philosophy of number one. But I'm not the management of the Raiders. But so abysmal are the Raiders that at home, the last game of the season, the Chiefs are bringing in a third-string quarterback and are going to go into Allegiant Stadium 5.5-point favorites. That is just ridiculous. And what are the Raiders playing for? You already said it. They're playing for the overall number one draft pick next year. And let's not forget, he needs 112 yards.
Hey, come on now.
He needs 112 yards to get to 1,000. He will not get the 112 yards. I don't even know if he'll play the whole game. The Raiders, what is possible, though, is the Raiders covering, because I think this is just going to be a terrible game to watch on both sides. I think the Chiefs, they have no firecrackers left. They're not going to have any sparks. The Raiders have no sparks. So give me the Raiders plus 6 on this one, and the over-under 36.5. Give me a point on that. Make it under 37.5. And I think it's going to be, it couldn't be over soon enough for me.
Yeah. The more I've been thinking about it with the Lamar Jackson saga and all that, I think it's a good idea. And it would be great for the Raiders overall. I don't think financially it would be great, though. That's a big contract for somebody. I mean, we talked about it a few weeks ago. Lamar is getting to that age where he's going to have to maybe figure out a way to be a little more cerebral in the pocket. Those legs are going to start wearing down. So I have a different way for you to go. And this may be a little bit off the beaten path, but I think this might be a little more feasible. I'd love to hear your thoughts on possibly, and I don't know his contract situation, so whether they have to trade for him or have to go out and sign him, obviously two different situations, but just your thoughts overall. Malik Willis to the Raiders.
Oh my gosh, I would be ecstatic. I think that kid is the second coming. You don't miss anything with him under center. He's got the smarts. He can read the field very, very well. And for all, what I have seen of him, he makes very smart plays. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. I would love to see him wearing silver and black.
Yeah, because I feel like Tennessee
Upgrade.
might have. Tennessee I think gave up on him maybe a little early. It is what it is. They're the ones who are in there and they see it. And Matt LaFleur is an offensive coach. I think it was Mike Vrabel there in Tennessee that he's a defensive guy, so maybe that continuity wasn't there. But I don't know. Anyways, just kind of looking around, and again, I don't know if Malik Willis is a free agent, because again, I do think. And you want to kind of avoid, I always remember the Matt Flynn, where Matt Flynn, I think, came in the final 2 games of the season, tore it up, and then got like a 50 or a 4-year, $50 million contract before Russell Wilson ended up taking his contract as a 3rd round pick. But anyways, in terms of this game, you kind of mentioned it, Raider Jim. Both of these teams, I think, have essentially given up. I just think Kansas City, even with a 3rd-string quarterback, a hobbled tight end, a not great defense, and a head coach in Andy Reid, who's in some very uncharted territory of coaching a meaningless football game.
Right.
I just think they're better. Again, it's kind of a race to the bottom when it comes to these type of games. And with all due respect, nobody beats the Raiders in a race to the bottom, unfortunately, this year. 5.5 is a lot on the road for Kansas City, but I'm going to lay it here. I don't know. I'm going back to the Raiders-Eagles game, and maybe because it was just right in front of my face and it was just so it was almost uncomfortable to watch. That stuck with me. Not a good football team, unfortunately, for my friend Raider Jim, but I do think brighter times are ahead, but they are going to wear one more right here. -5.5. I'm going to lay it with Kansas City. I'm also going to go under 36.5. Again, where are the points coming from on Vegas's side? And you can kind of throw Kansas City into that as well. Obviously, Denver's defense much better than Vegas's defense, but Vegas's defense is average to below average, which makes it the strength of this team. So again, I just think we can stay under 36.5. I could see this being a 17. Well, no, that wouldn't work. We'll call this a 17-10 win for Kansas City, at least on my end. But again, 2 teams that, and who knows? We do have, of course, the subplot. I know Raider Jim will be on the edge of his seat all weekend trying to figure out if Travis Kelce will be retiring or not. But we'll have more on that next week.